Hi everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to the planner page video. Now this page is quite daunting, I am not gonna lie, and very detailed and very small. So I have come up with a few different ideas on how to approach this page to make it slightly simpler, and I thought I would share those with you before I revealed what I'm actually going to do. Sounds like it's exciting. I don't think it is. But anyway, firstly, I thought maybe get some soft pastels, swish them all over the page, and then just outline over each pot. That's one way. Another way would perhaps be to use just a very limited colour palette. So I thought maybe, you know, do all the flowers the same colour, all the leaves the same colour, all the pots the same colour as each other, and then the shelves. Or do each one a different colour. I think I've seen someone do that. Might have been Emily Illustrator. So say, you know, the yellow, orange, red, or whatever it might be. So that's another way. I was quite keen on the idea of sort of sticking to just a really limited colour palette, or getting a colour cube card and using that just to help me, so then I would be limited in my colour palette. But what I have decided on is to use these. Now I've not used these very much before, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I just figured because they're very small, 0.4 mil, they would fit in the spaces because it's such a small page. But I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of pens, so it's going to be very different. These are water-based markers and fine liners. Now I'm just going to open the tin to show you. They have numbers but no names, so I would read out the number as I use the pen, in case you're following along, in case you have this set. These are my husband's pens, by the way, and not mine. I'm just going to open up the... now I don't have any sort of swatch chart or anything like that, so it's just going to be a sort of guesswork exercise, which is going to be interesting. But I just figured it would be a little bit different. I am going to grab some paper to put behind the page. I don't usually bother with this on the planner, but I don't know if these inks are going to soak through. I don't want it to soak through to my picture below. So let's come in closer, sort of here. Now I am thinking maybe we will do a limited palette, even though we've got pens. So maybe we'll do all the flowers the same colour on the top row. So I'm just looking at this pen here. This is number A196, and as you can see, they're really fine liners. And I'm just going to start. Now I don't know any techniques with pens. I have seen colour mixing being done with fine liners by Emily Illustrator, which looked really pretty. I did try it in one of my books, and I found that it went through the page really quite badly, because you have to layer up a little bit, and you have to be very quick before it dries. And so I sort of thought, oh, maybe gel pens would be better because they don't dry as quickly. And so I got some gel pens and forgot. So I haven't tried it with gel pens. So I can't say as whether it's good or not. I think what I'll do is I'll leave that pink and grab another pink and just do all pinks across the top, but different pinks. So this is 110. And this one, we've just got these little circle berries, so I'm just going to do those in pink. This one is 129. Now I don't know if these are in a... I'm sure I need to keep these in order, because husband will want them kept in order. He likes all his items being in the same order as they were when he bought them. Now I'm sure there are others of you that are like that, but for me, I like to reorder them so they're in an order that makes sense for me. But he doesn't like that. So yeah, we differ, but because they're his, I need to keep them in order. He might not let me borrow them again. Not that he uses them, he really dislikes them. It's quite interesting. I find it interesting. Interesting, maybe that's not the right word. Annoying, maybe better word. 163. In that some of them are really wet and some of them are really dry. So just when you think you've got a technique for colouring them, like this one is extra dry, I'm having to colour over and over it a bit because it's leaving gaps. So just when you think you've got a technique, then the next pen you have to use a different technique. So that's a bit annoying, but they are cheap, I think. This is a 198. So yeah, that I guess that's helpful. But some people are like using pens, use them all the time, so they will probably have better technique than me. Now if you haven't got pens, I'm suspecting that a lot of you won't want to colour in pen because I'm assuming that if you watch my videos you colour in pencil, because that's what I usually do. This is 187. You can just go through all your pinks in a particular set. Now you're going to need a set that you can sharpen very easily, that will keep its point. Now I would suggest if you have Tombow, Erogeton, they would be perfect. Maybe Crayolas, they're quite hard or very hard. A Stedler would be good. I can't speak. What was that noise? Or Polychromos would also work pretty well. That's a nice pen. I like that one. We're almost moving to red, I think. I don't think we've got a few more pinks yet. 107. So see this, I want to do a bit of pink on every plant. I'm not going to be able to on the row below. So no, actually, let's do these bits anyway. These bits that are coming out. Yeah, so a harder pencil. If you're if you like your Prismas, then your very thins would work. This is 190. Now some of these have dried up already. He's had them a fair while, to be honest. They're not as bad as when I bought gel pens from Castle. Some of them were dry when they arrived. And I'm sure if I'd complained to Castle, they would have done something about it. But to be honest, they were so cheap. This is 183. They were basically a penny each, or 10p each. I can't remember. I can't do the maths. They were, well, that's quite dark, isn't it? Let me think. I paid a tenner for 100. What's that maths? I don't know. Is it Monday morning? Can't do maths. I'm actually recording 149, a Monday video on a Monday. It's really rare for me to do that. But it just happens to fall that way. This is 221. So it's Monday and it's a happy day because everyone's got off to uni nicely. The trains are on time-ish, or 5 minutes late. Everyone has arrived on time. Husband's got off to work on time. Everything went as planned. I did forget to put the carrot sticks in the lunch boxes, but you know, that's really orangey. Apart from that, it's all good. I am just reminded though, I'm going to do those two different colours. I haven't got my tablet and I'm going to go and grab it. 1 minute. Yeah, I like to keep in touch with the children, make sure they're okay. My son had sent me a message while I was away saying only 3 people were on time to the lesson. It's a 9:15 start. You know, students, this one's really dry, this pen. I guess it's quite pale. But yeah, he was a bit like taken aback, shall we say. Right, this is the last pink that I'm going to use, so I'm going to do these last ones with colours I've used before. I'm just going to go right back to the beginning, and this one again, the 196. You do wonder how once students start work, how they cope with suddenly having to do early mornings. I always was fine with mornings. I've never slept in. This is 110. I mean, a little bit, but not silly sleeping in. It's just not something that I ever did. I know, I guess I was made to go to bed on time. This is 129, so I never got into the habit of staying up really late. I used to stay up on a weekend till about 11:30, but nothing silly. You know, the odd really late night, but so I guess I didn't really need to lie in. It's quite dark, aren't they? Now I was thinking that maybe with the green, I might just stick to one colour so that it so that we haven't got a big mishmash, because you know we've got our vases to do as well. Here we go, 163, and I can't decide what to do for those yet, whether to do pinks as well. I think it might be overkill, but I'm looking at the range of colours and I'm thinking, what else can I do? So I want a greeny blue for no, a bluey green, sorry, for this one. I'm just going to grab, I'm going to have to try it out on a bit of rough paper. Oh, that's too blue. See, the turquoisey ones are a bit too blue. Maybe that one. Yeah, I think that'll do. I'm going to use this same green on all of the stems. This is 106. Now, I know I haven't done the flower centres. I'm thinking about that too. I could sort of go stereotyped and do yellow and keep them all the same too. This is where I'm struggle to keep in the lines. Now, I don't keep in the lines very well with pencil, but it doesn't really show up that much because it's not so dark and vibrant. But when you're using a colour like this, boy does it show up when you go out of the line. Although, because this one is so dark, you can't see the lines very well, so maybe that helps me a bit. Now I think I'm tempted to do the stems because I can. It's quite hard for me though. I think it looks better though. Now you could swap greens if you want to do some different colours. You might get bored doing the same one, but for me it's a lot faster doing the same one. Anyway, let's have a chatter. How's everyone been? Had a lovely weekend actually. Of course I'm recording this on the, what's the date today? The 19th of February. So it's a few weeks in advance. But so the weekend that I had before you watch this will be completely different to the one I'm talking about. But yes, it was relaxed, which was good. I've got a sore foot still from the blister that I got from my boots, which I talked about in my previous videos. And so let's do those. So I didn't go out very much. I went to the supermarket and I limped around the supermarket. I put my old shoes on and the thick plaster, but still a bit sore. So I did that and didn't go into town, and I need to go into town because there's some things I want, but it's not quite healed enough yet for me to be confident to walk all that way. But anyway, I give it a few more days to get better. It's a really seriously sore blister, big, and it's for the 2 or 3 days. When I got out of the shower in the morning, I left the plaster on it in the shower. I took it off and it was weeping when I got out of the shower. It was so nasty. But sorry, you don't really want to hear this, do you? It's horrible. But anyway, it's getting a lot better now. It's not doing that, and it's shrinking and the redness is going, so it's all good. But I just want to make sure it heals properly. But yes, so I did that on Saturday, and then what was today on Saturday? Oh, they went off for a haircut and I did some videos and bits and pieces. This is really too dark, I think, for this plant because we can't see it. It just looks like a splodge of dark. Maybe a lighter colour might have been better, but never mind. So yeah, they went off for haircuts and I did a bit of recording and stuff, and then yesterday husband went to the AGM of the local art cooperative. Look, I missed one. What colour did I use? Who knew, and why didn't you call me? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That doesn't look like the right colour. Oh, I think it is. Yeah, so he went to the AGM of the local art cooperative and it's made him think hard about his art. He's decided he wants to improve, work on improving, and he's talking about how something he was reading saying, you know, if you're just doing art, you're not improving. You have to actually look at your pictures and think about what you can improve in them for next time. And I was a bit, sorry, I've got to wipe my nose, a bit dubious about that. Not because, I just wonder whether critically looking at your art all the time is a bit difficult. Sorry, my son sent me a message. Hang on, I've got to reply. Yeah, he said, my son, that he hasn't got a personal tutor and it looks like he should have one. And he accidentally forgot about a meeting, so he didn't get assigned one or something. So he needs to sort that out. I said, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Anyways, so yes, so you're talking about, and so what he did, he went to this meeting and they were saying, oh, we need to keep connected on social media and things. So he's gone onto his YouTube channel, his Instagram and his Facebook, and he's deleted all the content from them because he doesn't think his art is good enough for these people to look at. They're sort of professional artists and stuff. And he started thinking about how he can improve his art. Now, I'm a little bit worried, to be honest, that he's going to become so self-critical that he's going to lose all his confidence, you know. And for him, art has been a lovely way for him to stay more relaxed, and I fear that it's gonna become more of a burden, you know. I mean, obviously, if we want to improve, we need to learn and sort of, I guess, critically analyse, but we need to make sure we look at what is good as well as what is bad, and I don't know if he's going to be doing that. So, as I say, I'm a bit worried, but we'll see. Now, I think this was completely the wrong green, and next time I wouldn't use this dark. I think it's horrible, okay? I'm just being honest. I'm being self-critical, but I'm not beating myself up. I'm just saying, yuck. So next time, I wouldn't use that colour. I've decided for my flower middles, I'm going to use this colour. This is 139. It's a quite pinky colour. I think I'm hoping it's a bit darker, yeah, than I've used. It's a bit red, but I just don't think a yellow would work somehow on this row. So that's why I've gone for a pink. That's neat, just go out the lines. Now pots. Now I've got a bit of a thought. Do I do all the pots the same colour as each other across the whole page? Or do I just do these pots the same colour? And if so, what colour? I've got a colour here which I can't get out. This one, 144, it's pink. Tempted to use this. Oh, I can't get the lid off. Oh my goodness. Oh. Right, let's Let's start colouring. It's quite a purpley pink, isn't it? And I think the problem that I've got here is that all my pinks are different to each other. Ugh, this is messy, isn't it? Like some are reddish pinks and some are purpley pinks, and a sort of salmony pink in my mind doesn't match a fuchsia-y type pink, you know, not the same. This is horrible. Colouring a big area with a fine liner, it's hard, isn't it? And my thought was I would just go over the top again of the bits, of certain bits, so they stood out like that, but I've made that look such a mess. I'm going to try and do it better on this one. So I want this stripe to be dark, so I'm going to go over it twice. This one to be light, so I'm going to go over it quickly. This one to be darker. Oh, that's better. It's these big areas I find hard. It's not too bad. I'm just getting better, aren't I, with practice, I think. I'm doing that, a couple of layers on that one so it's darker. Whoops. The problem is that if I miss a bit and I have to go back, then it, like I did there, then that bit goes darker. So obviously when you layer up felt tip pens, that's what happens. How is it going? It's not going through the page at all. I'm very surprised. Now if you're doing this in your actual book, World of Flowers, I would be really cautious. I would never use these in a book. Not to this extent. I might use it for a few highlights, dots, that sort of thing. And then if it goes through, you can probably hide it quite well on the back, but not layering up like I am. But I'm really surprised that the paper is holding out. What I'm doing here is I'm going to colour all these first, and then I'm going to colour over it all over again. And I'm going to hope that because I'm doing several layers, it will still stand out. Hope that I can get it reasonably neat. It's a little bit better. This is why I don't use pen. I'm wondering whether to not use pen for the next row, to be honest. That is so messy. Now I know that alcohol markers are much neater. I think it's because they slightly bleed in the paper, and so that means they fill all these little gaps that I've left here. They fill them up. So I think that's my reasoning, my thought as to why they're neater. I'm trying to just do this quickly because I think it looks neater if you go quick and don't dither, but I don't know. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the old alcohol markers, but they are so expensive. They're just like mad money. And the smell. I've got some Sharpies which are cheaper than like the Ahoo, which are cheaper than the what's the brand? You're all shouting at me the brand. You all know what it is. Copic. But they're so expensive and they don't last as long as a pencil, surely. You know. So and I assume also that if you don't use them within a certain time period, they'll dry up anyway. I also understand that the fine liner nibs wear out on rough paper. So if your paper is slightly textured or toothy, then you wear the nib out. So if you've got like American Amazon paper is quite toothy, and I think it would, you know, wear the nib. So to be so careful. So, yeah, so I was a little bit upset the husband had deleted everything off his socials, because some of the stuff I thought was really quite good, and some of the videos he'd put on his YouTube I thought were quite useful, but I don't know. I haven't properly talked to him about my concerns, because I don't want him to know I'm concerned. Do you know what I mean? It's tricky. I'm filling these in a bit darker so we get some difference in colour. I think what I really find that I dislike about pens is their vibrancy. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but look at this page and it just looks too bright. So that's, maybe I'm being weird. I don't know, maybe that's what people like about them. It just looks so brash. Maybe it's because it's pink. You know, I don't like pinks very much. I don't know why I picked pink, to be honest. But maybe it's that. I don't know. I feel like I've sort of done a really poor picture. So I'm not sure where to go from here, whether to just carry on and do the next one, or whether to switch to something I'm more confident with, or whether to, I don't know. I think I'll try a blue one here and see how that looks. Let's just put those away. Okay, so where's our first blue? I'm just going to try this out to see if it's blue or purple. I can't tell if that's purple. It's nice. It's not blue though. There we go. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3. It's a good number. And I'm going to start doing some flowers. See if I prefer the blues. There we go. I'm going to do a different blue for those circular bits. I don't think they're leaves, but I'm going to use 1, 3, 1. I don't know if these are in numerical order. Well, then obviously not, because where's 1, 2, 4? But I don't know if there's if there is one of that number. I don't really know much about how Arteza works with their numberings, whether their numbers are the same for their pencils as their pens. 159, most brands aren't. There we go. I'm just going to message my son again, hold on. Right, back to this one, 167. We've got some really big flowers to do with this one. Now, I always make the mistake of thinking that colouring with pens is going to be fast, because there's no sharpening involved, but I always find that it's really, really slow, and it's weird. I don't understand why. Why is it so slow? I mean, obviously these nibs are really small, but I also find I get blisters with pens on my little finger, because I don't know actually why. I was trying to say why, but I've got no clue. 108. So that's odd. But anyway, I'm kind of regretting doing pen. I think you're getting that idea. It's just not, I'm not feeling it. I think I'm gonna just finish this one, and then I don't know whether I'm just going to do it on my own, because there's nothing to tell you really. I'm just picking the next pen and colouring with it. It's nothing too skilled. I think it's going to end up looking like a complete disaster. I'm wondering whether to refilm using the page in the main book instead. I don't know. I like this colour, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think I will continue this page, but I just don't know how long to film for because I think it's going to get boring. As I say, there's no skill, I'm not teaching you anything. And I think those are all greenery. I love that colour. It's lush. Here is 117. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Really. I'm just sort of pondering and colouring 208. So here is a flower. Yeah, so I'll tell you, yesterday my husband was at his meeting. It's quite turquoisey, this one. And I was on Skype to my family. 2 hours we were talking. It's a really long time. So that was nice. And had my parents on 186. And my mum was, some of the time she was on camera, but my nieces were there too, my dad, because they're both studying at uni in the same town where my parents live. So they go round there a lot on Sundays, not every Sunday, but a lot of Sundays to see my parents. And so they were there, and one of my niece's boyfriend was there as well. So that was nice. This is 211. He was telling us this horrific story about how he dislocated his shoulder. Ugh. And then my other niece was telling me about how she dislocated her boyfriend's finger. She said she just pulled him up or something and grabbed him awkwardly by the hand, you know, and pulled his finger out of the socket. Woo! The other one said he just woke up with a dislocated shoulder because he's got a I don't know if it's called a disease or a disorder where he has problems with his, this is 205. This looks like should be lots of different colours, but I'm just going to do it the one. So yeah, he has problems. This is really dry with his joints and things. He's prone to dislocating. So he said he couldn't get out of bed or something, but my niece helped him out, and then he was able to pop it back in. He says once it's in, it doesn't hurt. 168. I wouldn't want to test that theory though, would you? I'll just pop my shoulder out, see if it hurts. No. But anyway. Yeah, so we're having a long natter about all sorts of things. And that was good. But I was colouring. What did I do? Oh, I've done something I've forgotten to note down for my completed pages video, I think. I had been looking through my swatch book. I've got the Ruby Charms colour swatch book that someone kindly sent me, which is very handy. And I had noticed that I haven't swatched a couple of my sets of pencils, so I was doing that in the video. And what I do is when I swatch, I colour the picture on the page that, you know, because in the swatch book there are pictures. 180. So I was doing that while I was on Skype, which was good. We're talking a bit about aphantasia, which is something I have, and my niece said her boyfriend has it. This is the one whose boyfriend wasn't there. Oh, my son's messaging me again. Hang on. Right, back again. I just had a coffee. I'm not sure if this is the colour I've used before or not. Oh well. No, it's different, isn't it? What I decided to do while I was drinking my coffee is just finish this row of flowers, and I'm going to do a bit on my own. So I am going to do each one a different colour, and you'll find out. I'll talk you through what I did after. And then basically I'm going to do all the plants and the pots. I'm going to do the pots in the same way as I did this, so pick one colour and go over them. Now this one, obviously like this, has got water in. I'm just going to colour it all over. I'm going to ignore that water. I know it's hard, you might want some help with doing water, but it's not going to happen because it's just not going to work with this design of the way I've done it. I will come back and show you the shelves because I have some thoughts on how to make them look a bit more like wood. So I hope I can carry that off with a pen. So that might be quite useful. And then I'm going to do a background, which I hope will just redeem it all, but who knows? We'll see. So I'm going to play with that. So I've got 2 blues left. I'm going to use one for the pots and one for the centre of the flowers. Look, one's really dark, so I'm going to use the dark one for the centres. And then, not many of them have centres. There we go. And yeah, the other one for the pots in the same sort of way I did the row above. Then I'm thinking I've got oranges or reds, yellows or sort of violets. I'm not sure yet quite what I'm going to use, but I'll have a think. Because if I do violets, then I'm all cold, and to do a red might look a little odd. But so I might sort of do reds and yellows, so we've got a bit of a contrast. Oh, that's messy. There we go. So there's that one. Excuse me. So I'm going to do the pots and then the leaves the other way around. I'm not sure. I'm certainly not going to use such a dark colour on my leaves. Yes, and I shall do my others, and then I shall come back and chat to you a bit more. I think if I do all this on camera, I'm going to get bored. I'm not going to find anything to talk to you about. My boys are also in a chatty mood at the moment, so they want to talk to me. So I shall talk to them a little bit as well. So I shall be back a little bit later. Right, I am back and I have finished all the main colouring work. It is very messy. I'm not that happy with it, but I have some ideas for some background which I think will hopefully lift it and change it quite significantly. Now the shelving, I did say I was going to show you, and I am, so don't worry. I know I have coloured it, but all I've done, let me come into a bit closer on one shelf and I can show you. What I have done is I've put down a base colour of a sort of mid-brown, and I've coloured it this way because I want it to look like there's a wood grain going across this way. And now I've got a darker pen, a darker brown. This is the 134. Sorry, I can't remember the number of that one. It was a couple of shades lighter. And what I'm going to do is just put in some lines like this to make it look a bit like wood grain on the shelf. It's quite simple. I hope it sort of works. I'm not going to put any shadow under the pots or anything. And I think my colouring is too simplified in this drawing to warrant that, because I haven't done it anywhere else. It's going to look a little bit strange. So I'm just going to do the same on all of the shelves. Let's put them all in shot. And then we're going to do some work on the background. And I've got my soft pastels out, and I'm going to do some background colour with that. And then I've got going to use some pens, or maybe both, some glitter, either glitter pens or maybe some Stickles, to just brighten, lighten, make it look, my plan is to try and make it look a little bit magical. I'm not sure if I can quite capture that, but I'm just going to have a go, because at the moment I'm not very happy with it. You would have noticed while I was recording earlier, I was sort of a bit down. I was like, oh, I'm not sure. And it's just the pens just aren't my thing. And while I was colouring it, I had a couple of occasions when I thought, should I just chuck this away and colour the page in the book? But I can't do that, because when I do my flip through of this book, you've got to see this page, so I've got to make it work. Oops, I'm going the wrong way with my zoom. Let's come this way. So I'm determined that I'm going to get this working in a way that I like. So we've got these layers of colour, so I think I need to do those layers of colour with my pastel. Let's move across so you can see. So this top bit needs to be a pink, I think, and I am looking at the pinks. We have these here, can you see? Oops, let's pop it into shot. I'm thinking this one is really fluorescent. I'm not keen on that one. I quite like this one, it's quite dark. Let me just have a look at it. I'm going to do that one, but I don't have to keep it that dark. And I'm going to just put it around here, let you see, like this. Oops. I haven't decided. I'm just going to move some things away from my elbow because I'm knocking them over. What I'm doing with the edge, I think I've got an idea. Okay, let's not go to the edge. Let's just go around the pots with the colour. I'm not going to share my idea, but you would have seen it because it'd be on the thumbnail of the video. So I don't know why I'm pretending to keep it. See, I might change my mind. Now you notice I'm just going right over the top of everything. I'm not too worried because this is our sort of pink area. So I can go over the top in the pink and it's all fine, like that. And it would actually might make the colouring look better. Who knows if I've missed any gaps. Now we need blue for our next row. We have some of these blues are a little bit turquoisey, so I'm going to probably do this blue. Let's have a look. Yeah. Again, not too hard and not right to the edge. Okay. Which blue is it? I've already forgotten. It was quite interesting. I was watching this, it was a Facebook, what are they called? Like a reel, a story, that's the word. A reel, a short, a story, yeah, little short video. It was about menopause and it was really interesting. It was like, oh, advantages of reaching menopause. I can not have to buy expensive products, you know, and I can wear, and we've got red, I think this one, and I can wear white trousers, well, it said pants because American, without worry, and I can, you know, that, and no cramping and monthly moods and all that sort of thing. And then it was like, and now I've put on weight and I've got hot flushes and I've got brain fog and my memory's gone. I was like, yay, yep, that's what I'm doing. Now it just reminded me because I just forgot something as I was talking to you. And I also read a fun post from someone. Now the yellow is quite brownish in places, so I'm going to use this sort of more goldy tone. This one is a favourite of mine anyway. I use it a lot. You can see how thin it's getting. Not as thin as that yellow, which is actually broken into pieces. Which was someone who said she's perimenopausal. She said she got up and she put something put her mug in the fridge or something like that, and something else I can't remember, and then she put her face wash on her hair in the shower. You know, it reminded me of the other day when I was in the shower and I just put my conditioner on and I hadn't shampooed, and I just thought, oh well. I didn't have time. You know, some mornings I've got to get my son out the door at 7:20. I don't have the time to worry about that sort of thing. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a brush. And now around the edge, I'm going to go with a grey. I was thinking black, but I think I'm going to go with this really dark grey here instead. And if it isn't dark enough, I can always go over with a black, but black just feels really dark. Anyway, yes, so that day I just thought, oh well, I'll just have the conditioner. And actually I realised that some people actually advise that you don't use shampoo every time you wash your hair because it can strip out all the oils and things. So I thought, oh well. But yes, I have to get my son out for I get up at 6:15. My alarm goes off at 6 and I have 15 minutes of just, you know, having a bit of I try and remember to do a bit of meditation and plan my day, but it doesn't always work out like that. And I you know, usually read the news, which is a bad thing, do the Wordle, which is really important, and sometimes look at Instagram, that sort of thing, and then get up. And then I have to get my son out. He has to get ready, get his shoes on at 7:20, so I have virtually an hour, which isn't really very long for me because I have to get up, make sure he's up and everyone else is up, get all the lunch boxes, make sure everyone's eating their breakfast. I do have everything laid out the night before to help me. I'm already feeling happy with this page, I have to say. I'm going to now sweep it off a bit again. And, oops, look at that. Ugh. I'm going to take that paper away, put this one back underneath, just in case. I don't know why, I don't think I'll need it. I'm going to put the lid on my pastels so I don't spill them on the floor, because, you know, menopausal brain. There we go. Right, now I'm going to use some pens. Some gel pens or some stickers. I'm just going to look at what stickles I have. I've got the diamond, I've got the black. I'm tempted. I'm going to use a bit of this black Stickles. I'm just going to squodge them a bit because I haven't used it for a while. And I'm going to use a little bit in the corners or the edges just to brighten it to start with. I need something to lean on. Actually, I'm going to use that piece of paper that I just discarded. I fold it in half and I can lean on it. So I'm going to use, these are black diamond Stickles. Okay. And I'm going to use a bit, ooh, squeaky noise. Let's just spread it with the tip. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Didn't really mean to put that much on. And I'm thinking, should we just dot some about? Am I getting too messy now? I had thought about doing dots like that, but it's a bit late now. I'm going to have sort of splodges. A big splodge in the corner here, like to match the other one. Now Stickles are really difficult to colour on the back of because there's a big splodge of glue. So I'm just trying to thin that out a bit. I think it's a bit too thick. A few down the side. You need to be a bit careful. I don't tend to use them in books very much. I mean this because this is ring bound, I don't have to lean on this page. Or I can put quite a bit of paper in between the pages so I don't notice it. So it'll probably be okay. I don't know about going up there because we're a bit too close to the thing. Right, what I'm going to do now is I want to just spread this a bit, and I don't have a, oh, Eddie. I have a disposable tool. Here we go. This is a makeup thing. I'm just going to spread it a bit because it's a bit thick for my liking and uneven there. I'm much happier with that. It's still quite random, but it's sort of spread out a bit more. Let's go up to that shell, go down to here. It's not quite so thick and strange looking. So we've got a sort of border there with some sparkle. Now where are we going to go? Let's just put that somewhere. It's not going to get sticky Stickles everywhere. Now in here I was thinking white pen might be more suited to sort of putting some detailing on our vases and things. I have got my coloured pens, but I'm going to try white. Try try to find the right pen here. I'm going to try the Jelly Roll 10. Now leaning is going to be fun as we've now got wet stickles as well. It's a bit of a badly planned thing, but never mind. So I'm going to do the flower middles and then some dots on the vases as well. So it's going to be quite a lot of little details going on just to try and lift, brighten and add some interest to each of these. What do we do here? Just a few everywhere really. Pen. Now you might find that your pen clogs up a bit because we've got all the pastel in the background. Might find that affects the pen. I'm trying to put those on the lines but I'm failing. Now I'm going to keep, whoops, I don't know how well you can see. Let's get you in the middle. That's better. Smooth the brush away and I think it is quite interesting what a white pen can do. But it's going to take a little while. One boy's finished his class. He said only 7 people turned up in the end, which he thought was quite funny. I'm tempted to go over that swirliness, but I'm not accurate enough, so I'm just going to dot. Yeah, he thought it was quite funny that not many people had turned up, but he said it was really boring, his lesson. I said, oh, they must have known. He was like, yeah. Right. Just going to hope the stickles aren't too wet. Probably a mistake. Probably should have done the stickles last, but never mind. I got a bit carried away with my magic idea. We've sort of thrown everything at this page. And this isn't going to be the last either. So very noisy outside today. Such a nosy person. I want to know what's going on. That's a lot of dots, isn't it? But for me, this is too bright and the dots tone it down, which I like. But you may not want to put so many in. Okay, I think that's improved it. You know, as I say, it's very personal. I'm going to have to lean on the stickles and hope that if I stay still, they might be okay. That's quite a lot of dots. Maybe I could have done with a thinner pen. Never mind, this blue is really dark. If I put a dot on those, it'll be so big that they'll disappear, so I'm going to not. I could probably use a thinner pen, but what I have decided I'm going to do with this background is to find some glitter pens and add some magical dots. So I said I wanted it to look magical. But I'm going to do all this white dotting first. Now these white dots are fading a bit on this blue. I had no idea that that felt tip pens could bleed into white pen, but there's not much I can do. Just got to hope they don't change to like neon or anything like Black Widow's pencils do. That would be a little bit of a problem. I'm getting really hungry. Is there a video when I don't say that? But, it is getting near lunchtime. I've been working on this page for a long time, even though this is only going to be one video. It could be one long old video. But I just didn't feel I could justify more than one video because I'm not really showing you anything. So there are definitely dots, I remember, on that teapot, but I don't know where. They're so dark. Yeah, I think that blue is a bit of a bit too dark on those, but never mind. Right. Yeah, so I hope everyone's okay today, that you're doing well, enjoying your colouring still, or your crafts and art, whatever it is that you do. I know not everyone can colour, even if they want to. I'm not going to do those either, there's too many, too small. Yes, but I think hopefully, even if you can't colour, there's something you can do craft-wise that is good, that helps you to relax. I'm going to put it there. Oh, can I hear a train? It's not my son. One of them doesn't finish till 4:15. And one of them, I don't know what time the other one finishes. I think it's a 12:15 class for an hour and a half. So I think it depends how quick he's let out, which train he gets home. Oh, I haven't done that. Yeah, he can walk fast, but there's some roadworks near his uni which are disrupting his journey, much to his annoyance. Okay, there's that row. Now onto this bottom one. Oh, look, we've got a lot of stickles on our piece of paper, but yeah, it's okay. I should have done them last. But they were quite thick anyway. They take quite a long time to dry. Yeah, so I'm not sure what time he's going to be back. He's usually back in time to help me cook, but I don't always get him to help me. It depends what he's got on, how tired he is. I know I should make them help always, because if they weren't living at home they would have to do it for themselves, but they are living at home, and partly it's because they don't feel ready to take on. Oh, there's me stickles on there. Oh dear, never mind. I am going to put some glitter pen on there, so maybe it will sort of disappear into the ether. I'd have thought I'd have been able to scrape that off, but apparently not. Got strong glue, I'm guessing. I'm not going to do this flower on this one. It's interesting, I was reading a post on a colouring group. Someone was saying, you know, there are some people who seem to colour and it looks like they have painted, it's so good, and when would I ever get that good, because I've been colouring for ages and all this sort of thing. And it wasn't interesting. I didn't read people's replies, I just pondered my own thoughts, and I think sometimes people do use watercolour pencils and then it does look like painting, so they are painting. So it might have been that they were seeing. Also, if you use Prismacolors in a lot of layers, it can smooth out and look like paint. So that might have been it too. Or there are other, or you know, they might just be using paint. But it was an interesting thing. There were varied responses. Ugh. Right, I'm going to get my glitter pens now to do some glittery dots all around. My pens are all out of order. Make sure I've got the right one. Yes. So for my top row, I'm going to use this one. This is the number 721. Not sure how I'm going to reach. I'm just going to put my finger down. There we go. I'm going to go around all the flowers with like glittery dots. As I say, I've sort of thrown everything at this to try and improve it, and I may not have, I may have. I'm happier with it than I was. I think the pastels made the biggest amount of difference, and the white dots have helped. I noticed these ones here are going a little bit pink on some items where we are getting some bleed through. There is my pink. Then the blue, I've got a dark blue and a light blue. I'm trying to work out, whoops, which is which. I think that's the blue. Hang on. Yeah, this one will show up quite well. Again, I'm going to put my finger there. Now again with your gel pens, I think I'm going to go around those leaves as well because it's just going to look a bit odd. Make sure you test them in your colour palette test page, the same as you should with your fine liners and anything else you're using, to make sure they aren't going to go through the page. I'm not sure what the back of this page is going to look like, but I haven't looked. It's quite thick paper, so I'm fairly confident it'll be okay. Now we need a red. I think this is a red. Yeah. So yes, just check. Some pens do go through. I have heard of someone saying the Pentel ones, glitter pens, have gone through their paper. It does depend how heavy-handed you are, but you need to test for you, because you might not know how heavy-handed you are, or you might think you're okay and you're not, you know, that sort of thing. So it's always wise, because you don't want to ruin your book by having an accident. Now here, I'm not sure. I am going to use the orange rather than the yellow because I think it's going to stand out better. Okay. The gold is quite pale, you see. And I want these little dots to show up. As I say, I wanted it to look sort of magical. Pretend those stickles aren't there. Just go over a few of them. So say I'd do the stickles last if I was doing it again, but you know, there we go. Now I think I am finished. It is quite a mishmash. It is quite an experiment. It's what I was hoping, which is what has happened. Let's just move that page out of the way. Is that the felt tip pen, once the pastel was on, that it would look more like it was silhouetted, and I think in the darker pens that is what has happened. So that's better, I think, and it sort of draws your eye away from the scruffy colouring, which is always good. So there we go, something really different. Yeah, still not that happy with it, but I'm definitely happier than I was. I'm happy that I tried something different with you. I'm sure you might not do anything like this because you might think ick, but you know, it's worth playing around, I think. But I'm going to go and get some lunch now, and I think I've earned it. That's taken me nearly all morning. I hope if it does take you as long, you enjoy it. But thank you so much for watching. We'll have something a bit more conventional tomorrow, I'm sure. But yeah, hoping that you have a really super day, and happy colouring.